Hi, it's Chris. We're at that time of year where the temperature's starting to drop and we need to start thinking about how we're going to heat our homes. Today we're going to be talking about alternate heat sources. There's many different options and styles, and we'll talk about some of the pros and cons of those. Our first group of space heaters we'll talk about are your small portable ones. We have a couple different versions here to show you. We've got electric heaters only, we've got a propane unit, and we have an electric oil-filled heater as well. Benefits to these electric ones is all you require is your basic household outlet, turn them on and away they go. They have some safety features built in. If they get tipped over, they'll shut themselves off. A very safe item to have in your home. The other options you have is an oil-filled electric heater. It is a 110 volt heater, it just plugs into a wall. Very trouble-free, very little maintenance. The benefit of these is once they're heated up, and they take a little bit longer to heat than these electric pods, they'll continue to radiate heat even after they're cycled off. A lot of them also have something such as this, which is a water tank. You can just put a little bit of water in it, set it on the heater, and it'll actually work as a bit of a humidifier, which is really good because in the wintertime when the air is dry, that bit of moisture in the air is really beneficial. They also have safety switches, so if they do happen to get bumped over and tipped, they'll shut themselves off. So very safe and practical type of heat as well. One other variety we have is a propane base heater. It just takes a propane tank that connects to the back and has its own igniter, and just turn on the gas, hit the igniter, and this will give you some infrared heat. The downside to these is because it is burning a fuel, you have to be concerned about your health and safety with burning a gas product. The next heat source we want to talk about is one that's become extremely popular these days, and that's the electric fireplace. Much like our little space heater that we talked about earlier, it just plugs into a wall, works on your regular house power supply, but it's more about ambiance as well as it is heat. You'll have the realistic looking flames, you'll have remote control so you can turn the heat on or off, or you can turn your flames on or off. You're able to adjust your flame setting for high or low depending on what you like to have. They can be put in any size room, but being on a 120 volt outlet, you're only getting about 1500 watts of heat from it. So it really is just more about the look and the feel. The next heat source we're going to talk about is something that's become extremely popular in new house construction and for renovations, and that's the heat pump in the mini split version. Now, mini split is a common term you hear, and why they call it a mini split is there's basically two main components to it. A main fan unit and coil that mounts outside your home that has its compressor and fan motor in it, and then the other main unit is actually mounted in your house on a wall or in the ceiling, and it's there to provide the cooling or heating as you require it. This type of heat is available in many different output amounts from 18,000 BTUs right up and through. They are very energy efficient. The only downside to them is most of them require 220 volts in order to run, and to do that you may require an electrician to come in and provide the power supply for it. The mini split is something that becomes part of your home. Once it's installed, it stays there, and it's recommended that you have a certified installer do that. The next category we're going to be talking about is providing heat with the use of wood, and that can come in two forms. Either by the old standby that we're all quite used to, the split wood that we burn, or the other version that's becoming very popular, and that's the pellet stove. And basically it's wood pellets that's created from scrap wood, so that it's very environment friendly because it's taking pieces of wood and scrap wood that were being just discarded and are now being processed and made into pellets. Pellet stoves are great. They take up less space in your home. They come available in either freestanding, or you can actually have them as an insert so they can replace your old fireplace. One of the best features of the pellet stove is they do need to be vented outside, but they don't require the typical chimney that a wood stove does. It's just a small direct vent that just goes out through the wall. So your cost of installation is much lower than if you were doing the typical wood type stove. They do require a 115 volt outlet to plug into, because they're running two motors. One that's a fan motor that's supplying air to the burner box, as well as there's an auger motor that's feeding the pellets into the burner box as well. But they give a large amount of heat, they're very efficient, and they're, like I say, the cost of installation is much less than the other wood style burning stoves that you may be looking at. So the last category we're going to talk about today is the good old wood stove. Using a wood stove, extremely efficient. One of the beauties of a wood stove is the amount of heat that they generate as well. Even after your fire's gone out, they're still radiating a lot of heat into the room. So being energy efficient, they're probably the best. The only issues you have with wood stove is a little bit higher cost of installation. You need more space around it because the amount of heat they put out. There is some safety concerns regarding how much flammable material is around them and how close it is. A little bit more of a cleanup issue and maintenance to the wood stove, as well as you've got a chimney now that needs to have maintenance yearly as well. You need to make sure that's clear and free flowing so you don't have any concerns for fire or smoke backing up into your home. The other things you need to consider as well is your wood supply. Do you have an ample source of wood? And how are you going to buy it? Are you going to buy it in lengths and have to cut it up and split it yourself? Or are you going to buy it already processed so that you can just stack it and put it into your stove as you need to? As well as how much space will you require in order to store that wood and keep it dry for your use. So we've covered a lot of different options for heat sources today. Really it comes down to what your individual needs are, where you're looking to put it, how big the area is, and are you looking for heat, or are you looking for ambiance, or a combination thereof. I hope today we've showed you some of the highlights of many different versions and that you're able to make a choice that's best suited for yourself. For more videos on appliance repair, maintenance, and cleaning tips, please be sure to visit our website. And hey, don't forget to subscribe.